My name is Robinder Sachdev.
Okay.
I run a think tank known as Imagindia Institute. We do foreign affairs, we do leadership trainings,
Okay.
and
Business strategies and all?
it's global strategy. Yes,
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay, so we have Mr. Robinder Nath
Sachdev.
Sachdev
Yes.
with us, and he's the president of Imagindia
Institute.
and founder and co-founder of and former president of Come Clean India.
Oh yes, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. We run the Clean India campaign. Yes.
Yeah. So I read about you and I saw that you wrote your entire PG paper in block letters.
Yeah.
So I know that when I try to write in block letters, it reduces my speed. So what was the main reason behind it?
I don't know reason. I always write in capital letters, and I get your point when you write in block letters.
Yeah,
Your
the
speed is less,
yes.
but I think my speed in writing is always been. I've been always writing in block letters.
Okay, so I thought maybe you have done a calligraphy course or something.
No,
maybe.
I would love to, but no. But,
No.
yeah, yes.
Okay, so you just like to write in block letters.
I
It
do.
seems neat.
Yeah, actually, you're right. It seems neat, you know.
Okay.
Or yes, it seems neat.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So being a part of international and public affairs, so what are your viewpoints on Mr. Modi, our Prime Minister, being going to places and making ties with US, China to help India? So what are your viewpoints on that?
See, what Prime Minister Modi is doing, he's brought a kind of a fresh energy and a fresh charisma to international affairs. Indian diplomacy has always been outgoing and doing whatever country's foreign policy has to do and the interests of the country. But what Prime Minister Modi has done, I think, two things. He's kind of brought his personal charisma more into it,
Okay.
and he's also, in a way, marketing India much better.
Okay.
Right. I mean, we've been marketing India, but when he's going out, he's marketing India much better than we've had in the past. That's one. And secondly, his own personality, his own charisma. So these are, I think, two big changes that have come into our foreign policy since Modi ji became the Prime Minister. The basic conduct of the foreign policy obviously happens with the foreign ministry diplomats. They are preparing the strategies and all. But in terms of the big picture,
Right.
the give and take among leaders, which happens because leaders count a lot in what their personalities and what they bring to the table. So therein, Prime Minister Modi has brought, I think, a new. I would not call it aggressive personality or aggressive marketing of India, but it's something like a much more proactive marketing of India.
Okay, so one should be proactive in marketing rather than being aggressive, right?
Yeah, aggressive is can be looked as a negative term, right? So
Right,
keep that
yeah.
aside. Yeah, so proactive, being proactive, but also along with proactive in marketing or selling, you have to weave a story.
Right.
Okay, what is the story that you're telling?
Right,
So
right.
the better a story, the narrative that you are able to stitch together, that you weave, the more your message carries. And of course, in international business, especially, you are talking across cultures. And in a different country with different people normally don't have much time. So your message has to be, the story that you tell has to be interesting to draw the interest of the audiences. And I think therein, yes, Prime Minister has done a very, very powerful job.
So like there are two things, like focusing on international business and our country. So
Mm-hmm.
what should he focus on more, like on international ties, or he should manage between the two?
See, in today's day and world, we are all interlinked.
Right.
The world is absolutely interlinked, and India, and even sitting here, we are connected. Maybe your phone is maybe a Samsung or an Apple, whatever. The car you're driving is a Japanese Honda.
Right.
The juice you're having is a Tropicana or whatever, etc. The trousers you're wearing are maybe a brand Donna Cabana, whatever, etc. We are living in a globalized world. So whatever we are doing is all interlinked. So when the Prime Minister is promoting the country, it's not that it's the country has to have merit also. Right? You have to have a product to sell. You cannot be marketing something which has fluff and no value and you want to sell it, right? So the product itself has to have value. So therein, India, what we have in India, the Indian economy, innovations, the opportunities in India, and what India brings to the world, that, okay, this is what we can contribute to you, right? Because the other person has his own self-interest, or the other
Right.
country, that, okay, what can your country give, or I mean, how can I exchange value benefit with your country? So one, I mean, countries are totally interlinked. So in today's day and age, to think that what is happening inside India is separate and outside India is separate, no. Everybody knows, given digital age we live in, somebody sitting in Tokyo, Brazil, Indonesia, wherever, US, knows instantly what's happening inside India, right? Sitting here, you know what's happening in the United States. So we are in a matrix scenario now where countries and cultures are engaging with each other. So it's a holistic approach you have to take.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so one more thing, like being a leader, it's a very big job to manage a firm or even a group of people. So what do you think one should have? Which qualities one should have being a leader?
One of the biggest qualities is several, maybe few, but one of the key qualities could be for a leader to operate with insufficient information.
Okay.
You see, and I mean, there are many other qualities I could say, but you see, when you're a leader, you're going down a path on which nobody else has gone before.
Right.
So if nobody else has gone down that path before, you won't have 100% information about what's out there. So a leader has to operate with insufficient information.
That's a very different point, right?
Okay, and I'll give you an example. Like in the US Marines, what they are taught is that the US Special Forces, that if you're in enemy territory, do not wait for 100% information. When you're sure about 70%, go act.
Okay.
Okay, it's because you will never be able to.
Right.
So, and if you look at from the business side perspective also, if you're in a business and you want to collect all the market information, research about everything, and then you want to act, if you know everything that, I mean, if everybody knows everything, there's nothing out there. There's no distinction or distinguishing factor. So a business leader would also be needing, or a political leader or any leader, one of the key aspects I think is to have the courage to take decisions based on insufficient information or incomplete information. Uske basis pe to take decision is a key quality of a leader, I would say.
Okay.
Of course, a vision and all of those things are many there. People, leader, authentic leadership,
Patience.
communication, good communicator, of
Right.
course, and inspiring people, vision, zillions of several other things which all go into making a leader. But I think one key aspect which normally is not much talked about is the ability to take decisions with incomplete information.
Right. So basically to judge things of information you don't have.
Yes, make an estimate and have the guts to go ahead and act on it and hope that what you presume works out. If not, take the blame, stand up for it and say, yes, I made a mistake, move on.
Okay. So if one wants to run their business, okay, and for example, I'm planning to open my bakery and I want to run it, like I want to start it. So what should be the key points what I should implement in that, so that like aside from marketing and HR and all, what other qualities should I have?
If you want to open a bakery and run a bakery, what should be? Basically, I mean, like, okay, sure, entrepreneurship, right? You're
Yeah.
talking. Ability to live with risk.
Yeah, risk taking, obviously.
The main is risk, or risk management. How do you manage the risk? Whatever risk, when you start a bakery, you start with some money maybe, right?
Yeah.
You planned out your capital that this. What happens if your money runs out before your bakery starts to make the business? That's one big risk, right? Which is, for a startup, that is the biggest risk, money, right? But then there are other risks. There could be other elements of risk. So the ability to manage and handle risk, and if you fail, to get up and start another bakery, or maybe figure out, okay, your cakes were not doing well, so as a bakery, maybe now you start making bread or some biscuits or cookies or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So from that experience, the ability to get up once you fall should be, I think, yes, one, being aware and how to mitigate the risks would be a key aspect we should look at. And then second, somehow be yourself, train yourself, or have the ability, or be inspired, or have the strength in yourself that if your bakery doesn't work out, doesn't matter, the world has not ended, right? You can start something else, you can start your life or something next.
Right.
So walk, fall down, walk, that strength should be there.
Okay. So last question, like, how do you feel being at NDIM?
Oh, awesome! Interesting, very interesting, and I think your students are pretty interesting, and the questions that we get asked when we come here I worked, or we've taken some of your interns earlier, a few years earlier,
Okay.
when we do leadership training programs actually. So we've taken some of your students with us for we were doing a program for Japanese global leaders.
Okay.
So with them we associated your interns with the Japanese.
Okay.
So it was a leadership program. So we worked with your students
So
earlier.
you are going to do this year also, like for...
Yeah, maybe. In fact, we are going to do a training program for the board of directors of a large Japanese insurance company from Tokyo. It's a global
So
insurance.
they prefer students knowing Japanese language, or it's fine, like...
No, okay. No. For us, it was the idea for global leadership is to expose the Japanese, for example,
Yeah.
to a different culture where they do not, again, where they have to work with incomplete information.
Right.
Right. So that is how we create a challenge. So sure, we use interpreters sometimes, but oftentimes we say no interpreters. Okay, you got to learn to work and live in a different culture, which is where you're completely uncomfortable, discomfortable, whatever, and figure out what to do yourself. If you have the same things as you have in Japan, the same methods of doing business, you have the same interpreter, so everything is as comfortable as Japan, then you're not learning anything new.
Right.
You learn anything new only when you're exposed to uncomfort, discomfort, uncertainty, chaos.
Right.
That's when you are, you have to open up, you get challenged and you grow.
Right.